Hello and welcome to the Chronicles of a Gooner for another one of our live watch-alongs, and tonight it is the big one. Arsenal in Prague against Slavia in the second leg of our UEFA Europa League quarter-final. Of course, Slavia nicked a late equaliser at the Emirates Stadium, which turned the balance of the tie after Arsenal finally made the breakthrough. Looking at the lineup, we'll go through it now. We'll discuss it. I can see a couple of you in the chat already sort of commenting on it, and we'll get into it in a little bit more detail. But I'll tell you what, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you grab yourselves a drink, because this is going to be stressful. It's Arsenal in European competition. It is going to be bloody stressful. So I'm going to crack mine open up ahead of kickoff, because I think it's definitely needed. Big hello to everybody in the live chat. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you're not feeling too nervous. Hope you're ready for what is likely to be a roller coaster of emotions. Cheers to all of you, and let's get into it. Let's start off by running through the Arsenal lineup, and then we will discuss it. Starting with the Gunners, it is Bernd Leno in goal. It's a back four of Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari and Granit Xhaka. Dani Ceballos and Thomas Partey are the midfield duo, with Emil Smith-Rowe back in the side at number 10. Nicola Pepe and Bukayo Saka, we think, will play either side of him, with Alexander Lacazette through the middle. Now, we talked about it on the tactical breakdown after the Sheffield United game. We talked a lot about the role that Granit Xhaka played, and the role that Granit Xhaka is likely to play again is very, very similar. You're going to see Granit Xhaka tuck in field. You're going to see him be like almost an additional centre-back. You're probably going to see Dani Ceballos play from a slightly left of centre position like he did at the weekend, to compensate for the fact that Xhaka will probably tuck in. Thomas Partey will be more central rather than playing on the right of the pair, I think, and Callum Chambers will be able to step that little bit further forward, and if needed, step into a kind of half midfield position to help out and to help Thomas Partey to be able to control that midfield. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. It's not what I would have done. I talked about it on the show earlier today. I talked about the fact that I would have gone with Cedric at left back, but clearly Mikel Arteta doesn't feel comfortable in doing so. I said that we did well at Sheffield United. I said the system looked good, but I also said we shouldn't read into it too much because of the caliber of the opponent. So let me know what you guys think in the chat box, because I know there will be some divide on this. I know there will be some split opinion on this. And from what I can see that a lot of you are disappointed. Aditya says it's a terrible lineup. Xhaka at left back is pure naivety. He says Xhaka is getting ruined. Big hello to Steve, who says he's watching at his desk at work. He's going to have to sneak the whiskey in the coffee mug. You absolutely are, my friend. Big hello to Paul as well. He says, don't be nervous, Harry. I'm here, my friend. Paul has been a good luck charm for us on these watch-alongs. Whenever he's present, we seem to do better. Steve says, Harry, with Danny playing that far back, are we at risk if they start pressing further down our side of the pitch? If Ceballos holds the ball coming out of a slightly deeper position. I think actually it suits Ceballos to play slightly to the left of centre, because there's obviously naturally less pressure than there is in a central area on the ball. So I actually don't think it's a bad thing for Ceballos. I think you get more out of Ceballos this way. But obviously you lose from the midfield. You lose out without Granit Xhaka. Regardless of what people think of him, he's proven himself to be such an important player in Mikel Arteta's side. And there's no getting away from that. So to take him out of that position and then put him in an alien position seems a little bit risky from Mikel Arteta. Matt says, it's not the lineup I would have gone with, but let's see what happens. Come on, Arsenal. RW, on the other hand, says he's really happy with this lineup. He says, come on, you Gunners, let's get the win. Mr. Marlowe says Arteta has set the team up to get the result. Let's see how it goes and show support. Absolutely. We need to get behind our team. We have to, because tonight is massive, not just for the context of this current season, but for the future of the football club, because without the finance European competition brings us, we will struggle in the summer to do the business that we need and the business that we want to do to take this team on to the next level. Inter's unhappy with the lineup. He says, what on earth is that lineup about? So there's a mixed view on the lineup. Some are happy with it, some are not so happy with it. My word of advice would be, he's picked it now, let's see how it goes. And listen, if we need to have a meltdown after, we'll have the meltdown. If we need to dig out Mikel Arteta, we'll dig out Mikel Arteta. If we need to question his selection tonight, we will question Mikel Arteta's selection tonight. But let's reserve our judgment until at least we see how this tie pans out, because I still believe that Arsenal stand an excellent chance of qualifying for the last 4 of this competition. If you're just joining us, don't forget to hit the like button. It's really, really important for the channel. Subscribe if you're new. We're on our way to 13,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I want to get there as soon as possible. So please, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost a thing. And cheers to every single one of you joining us. Big hello to Lewis, who says, where is it? It's just, there we go. Popping on here now as I can't watch the game live tonight, so I'm recording it and watching it later. Turned all notifications off on my phone, so fingers crossed we get the result. Mate, I haven't done that for about 10 years. I used to, not even 10 years, probably more. I used to when I was a kid, and I'd be staying at my grandparents at the weekend when they didn't have Sky Sports. I would avoid the football all day and then watch Match of the Day at night. But it was easy to do them without smartphones and without internet and all of that. Nowadays, it's really difficult. So, Lewis, let us know how it goes, and hats off to you if you manage to pull that off. Let's quickly go through the Slavia Prague team, which is a little bit different to the side that started actually at the Emirates Stadium. Andre Kolar continues in goal. The back 4 is the same. Alexander Barr, Thomas Holles, David Zima and Jan Borrell. That's the back 4. Of course, they're without a couple of players at centre-back as well, so they're not exactly at full strength. Jakub Hromada plays in the defensive midfield role. Nikolai Stanchu is in the side, as is Lucas Provod. Peter Olajinka too operates from the left, but there's 2 changes to the side. Jan Kuchta starts up front, and Petr Sevcik comes into the starting lineup as well. So no Oscar Dorley and no Abdallah Sima. Now we know Abdallah Sima was unwell, and that's why he is out of the side. Let's go back over to the live chat box. Aditya says, you look at the back 4, Chambers holding Marie Xhaka. Where is the pace? I only see 4 bang average defenders there. You might, let's see, Aditya. Let's see. Let's just chill on the negativity for a bit. Let's see how the game goes. It ain't going to be a traditional back 4, right? We all saw the game against Sheffield United. I watched it back 3 times in total before I sort of did my tactical analysis. And it was not a back 4. It wasn't. You know, it looks like that on paper. Don't fall for what the paper shows. You know, we'll see it tonight. I think it will probably be a back 3 most of the time when Arsenal are in the ball. And you'll see one of them, most likely Callum Chambers, step a little bit forward on the right. The other 3 will become a 3-man defence, and Arsenal will try and squeeze Slavia Prague into their half and dominate possession. Mr. Matt Parrott says, what's your thoughts on the bench? It's difficult with the bench, mate, because Mikel's got no real other choice, has he? I mean, Aubameyang's not available. He's ill. Martin Odegaard hasn't made it either. You look at the bench, it's not particularly strong, but in Gabriel Martinelli, you've got someone you could turn to if you wanted to tighten things up. You've got Mohamed El Neni, you've got Gabriel, you got Cedric. You know, Balogun is on there. Interesting to see Balogun on there now that he's close to signing a new contract. So let's see how it goes. Lee says that too many fans blowing hot and cold air, not enough supporters. Get behind the team. Lee, I completely agree. I think that there's nothing wrong with being critical or being analytical after the game and looking back on it and deciding whether or not Mikel made the right choices. But to dig him out now before the game's even kicked off feels a little bit unfair. So let's wait. Let's hold on. Let's see how it goes. And then we can make the decisions, sort of our assessment from then. What else have we got in the chat? Ferradoon says, why is Arteta playing Emil Smith-Rowe on the wing? I don't think you'll see Emil Smith-Rowe playing on the wing. I think Saka and Pepe will be the 2 wingers to start with. But Emil Smith-Rowe could interchange with them at times, and that will cause confusion among the Slavia Prague defenders. And Emil Smith-Rowe's actually shown that when he does drift out to the left-hand side, he can make things happen. He's provided a number of assists from getting out onto that left-hand side and cutting accurate balls back across the penalty area. So yeah, that could potentially be a thing. This night, you can't beat a nice cold beer. I remember a few watch-alongs ago, probably a while now, probably a couple of months ago, you guys were getting on my case about getting a beer fridge, and I've done exactly that to save me going into the house at halftime, to save me needing to grab drinks during watch-alongs, during podcasts, during live shows. I've got myself a fridge. I stocked it up fully yesterday. Hopefully we don't have to get through all of it tonight. Let's see. But it feels like it's got the potential to be a really difficult game. Anton Pashkulev says he's worried about the lack of pace in our defenders. I think that's a bit of a common concern based on tonight's starting lineup. But as I keep saying, let's get behind the team. Let's support the team. And fingers crossed we can get through tonight. I've said all along that I believe Arsenal can do it. I believe that Arsenal should still do it. I'll be very, very disappointed if we don't, because I am, obviously I'm not overly confident, but I do feel like based on the way the first leg went, Arsenal completely dominated the game, didn't concede opportunities. It's for me, it feels like we should, if we play the way we can, we should do it. We should progress. Let's see what Anton says. Our backing won't make the defenders faster. No, it won't. But we don't need to make an issue of it until it's an issue, if that makes sense. Because as fans, we can't make a difference, can we? We can't change Mikel Arteta's selection. Wesbird says, "Where's the chili Pringles, Harry? I knew I left something in the house. I'll have to maybe get the missus, if she's in a good mood, to run them down." Problem is my outbuilding studio, whatever you want to call it, is at the right at the end of my garden. So it means you have to walk through the garden to get to it, and I don't know if I'll be able to convince her to come out in the cold. We'll see. Lee says, hopefully your beers are strong. They are definitely cold. I'm on the Cobra at the moment. I fancy the Cobra tonight. Teams are coming out of the tunnel. Yep, as Inti Anand says, man cave. Anton says shed. Not quite a shed, mate. It's a proper built building. It's got heat in it. It's got internet. It's got sky. It's got the lot. So not quite a shed, but it is at the end of the garden, and it means I get to stay away from as far away from the house as possible when I don't want to be there. So there you go. Right, you should be getting the sound effects coming through. Almost ready for kickoff. Dave says, try not to drink the fridge full, mate. We won't understand your commentary. Don't worry. Don't worry. Alex Akundi says, wait, Harry, you don't live in an apartment. Aren't you in London? Yep. Doesn't mean I have to live in an apartment. But anyway. What else have we got here? Selgius asks an interesting question. Do you think there's an advantage playing at home during this pandemic? There is an advantage because you're in familiar settings, but it's not as big an advantage as it would have been, obviously with crowds in the stadium. I'm just trying to work out, there looks like there's a few people in this ground. I'm just wondering if they're supporters or if... Yeah, is that a crowd? Is that a crowd just in the Slavia Prague Stadium? I wasn't aware that there was going to be people there, but it looks like it's too many people to be just the press. I don't know. Cüneyt Shakir is the referee tonight, Turkish official. So we've got the Turkish officials taking charge of this one. Yep, there are some fans in. Small crowd in Prague. Hopefully not a big enough crowd to influence the game in any way, shape or form. Sam says Pepe to tear it up tonight. You heard it first. And Steve says they have a few fans, Harry. This is the shit thing about, I love doing the watch-alongs, but obviously I can't listen to the commentary when I'm doing the watch-along. So sometimes I miss things like that. And that's where I rely on you guys to keep me posted and fill me in. Almost ready to get underway in Prague. Slavia Prague versus Arsenal, second leg of this UEFA Europa League quarter-final. A season-defining game for Arsenal in many, many ways. Can Arsenal get the job done? Can Arsenal book a place in the semi-final, where they'll potentially face Unai Emery's Villarreal? Not ideal, but it could well be the case if Arsenal do get themselves through tonight. My prediction is a 3-1 Arsenal win on the night. I've been saying that all week, so I'm going to stick with that. Arsenal players taking to the knee in support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. The Slavia Prague players not participating in that. Instead, they stood with their arms around one another. They have not acknowledged any wrongdoing on the part of their player. We're about to kick off here. Big, big game this. Huge game this. Referee just doing his final counts. Fucking nervous. Can you see it there? Look, it's a back three. Can you see it there? You can see it straight from the kickoff that Arsenal are going to be rotating that system. Xhaka's going to play a little bit further forward, maybe slip into the back three at times, but he's not going to play as a traditional left back, which is what I've been saying sort of throughout the build-up to this game. Xhaka takes the throw-in for Arsenal on the left. It's into Lacazette. Xhaka gets it back. Plays it forward. Nicolas Pepe's chasing the Slavia Prague centre-back, who ends up getting the ball back to his goalkeeper, Ondrej Kolar. Here is Alexander Bar. It's back with Kolar again. Slavia in possession, deep in their own half. Here's Alexander Bar. He's lost out to Nicolas Pepe there. Will it be an Arsenal throw-in? Or will it be a Prague throw-in? It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in on the left wing. Big hello to everybody joining us a little bit late. Hope you're all well for this huge, huge Arsenal game. Away to Slavia Prague, in desperate need of a goal here to cancel out the away goal that Jindřich Čepovský's side scored at the Emirates in stoppage time last week. Arsenal have forced a corner inside a minute and a half. Nicolas Pepe doing the good work down the left-hand side. Chance for Arsenal to test this Slavia Prague defence early on. It's going to be Dani Ceballos to deliver it from the left-hand side. In it comes from Ceballos, headed away, and then helped on by another Slavia Prague defender. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe. Goes back to Granit Xhaka, who's on the halfway line. His clearance was blocked. But it might fall kindly for Arsenal here. No, it won't. Slavia back in possession. Slavia, of course, wearing their home kit of half red, half white shirts with white shorts and white socks. Arsenal in their change strip of navy with pink trimmings. Ball played down the line. Callum Chambers will pick it up for Arsenal and throws it back to Bernd Leno. Remember, Arsenal need a goal tonight. And if Slavia Prague score the first goal tonight, it doesn't really change Arsenal's task. The Gunners still need a goal to stay in this tie. So the remit would be the same. Obviously, that goal in the event that Slavia don't score themselves would take us through. But in the event they did, we still need a goal just to keep ourselves in the tie. Throw in taken from Jan Boril on the left-hand side for Prague. Ball played forward in towards Olejinka, who would chase it. Callum Chambers guides it back to Bernd Leno. He chips the ball out towards the right-hand side. Taken down on an Arsenal chest. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe now. Under pressure. Arsenal concede a throw-in on the left-hand side. Slavia Prague's left, Arsenal's right, that is. Just want to see Arsenal settle a little bit. Have a few passes, play the ball around a little bit, get comfortable. Just touching on the rumours in the chat about Aubameyang having malaria. We've not had any confirmation of that, but that does seem to be the rumour doing the rounds at the moment. And of course, if that is true, we wish him all the best. Would explain why he's been out with illness for a couple of games now. Ball chipped out to the left-hand side by Kolar for Prague. Now that's with David Symeou, the centre-back. He plays it forward. Prague twisting and turning on the ball. Jakub Hromada it was there. It's back with the goalkeeper again. Oh, Sam says he's just posted it on Instagram. I haven't seen that. When was that posted? Literally now in the lead up to the game. It's bad news, of course, but fingers crossed he recovers quickly. Here come Prague on the attack with Olejinka down the left-hand side. Helps it on to a teammate. He'll cut it back across the penalty area. Back was Callum Chambers defending. Prague get a shot away from the edge of the penalty area. It's just wide of Bernd Leno's right-hand post. Let's off for Arsenal there. Sevcik is the man who had the shot from inside the D. Just cut across it too much, Sevcik, and it ended up going wide. I'll have a look at the Aubameyang post a little bit later on, but right now it's all about what's going on here in Prague. It's a huge, huge game for us. Season defining. There's no doubt about that. Make sure, if you haven't already, you hit the like button. I can see there's over 100 of you watching. Here's Ceballos on the left. Plays a lovely ball down the line for Pepe. He'll run at the Slavia Prague defence now. Plays a ball infield to Dani Ceballos. Takes a touch, but then gets caught in possession by Nikolai Stanchu, who's done well to win Slavia Prague a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. Good work rate from the Romanian to get back. Just nicked it off of Dani Ceballos' toes, who probably should have been a little bit more aware about what was going on around him. Here's Andrei Kolar in the Slavia Prague goal. Long ball forward. Olejinka will pick it up for Slavia Prague in the centre circle. He's lost out. Emil Smith-Rowe turns, tries to find Saka. But the pair just couldn't make it work. Slavia come away with the ball. Approaching the halfway line now, but they turn back. Here is Barr on the right-hand side. Plays the ball inside. Good challenge that from Pablo Mari on the halfway line. It looked like a good challenge, but not in the eyes of the referee. Turkish referee giving a free kick against Pablo Mari. Does kind of kick through the Slavia man, I think, upon reflection. Seems like the right decision. Big hello to Ben, who's just subscribed to the channel as well. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you're well. Fingers crossed on your first watch along with us, we can pick up the result that we need. Slavia Prague with a long ball forward. Granit Xhaka gets ahead on it. Pablo Mari will clear it out for a Slavia Prague throw-in in the right wing position. I don't know. I've not liked this first 7 minutes, if I'm honest. Man United have got a goal against Granada. Edinson Cavani after 6 minutes to put that tie, you'd think, beyond doubt now. Yeah, I've not liked the balance of this team in the early stages of this one. You can see now that Xhaka is tucking in like a left back. So it's a really fluid system, fluid formation. I just wonder if this was the right plan to do this in a game of this magnitude. Said it worked against Sheffield United, and I thought it did, but Sheffield United languishing at the bottom of the Premier League, pretty much relegated as a different kettle of fish to a Slavia Prague side who have dumped out Leicester, dumped out Rangers so far, and are looking to dump out the mighty Arsenal. Here's Bernd Leno on the edge of his penalty area. Plays a ball out to the left for Granit Xhaka. Into Lacazette. Plays it left to Ceballos. Now it's back infield to Xhaka. Finds Partey. Turns. Plays a long ball out towards the right flank. Saka struggles to keep it in. Callum Chambers on it now. Here's Partey to Ceballos, who was 7 or 8 yards to his left. Finds Nicolas Pepe on the left wing. Can he run at Alexander Barr? Can he cause him some problems? Pepe plays the ball back to Ceballos. Looks up, thinks about the switch of play. Looks on his outside again and then cuts back in field. Now it's Partey. Out to Callum Chambers, who's coming forward down the right. Chambers puts it into the penalty area towards Lacazette. His header come off the back of the Slavia Prague defender, and the hosts are back in possession. Ball's gone out for a Slavia throw-in on their right-hand side. First real involvement for Alexander Lacazette there. Here's Thomas Holles. There's the ball back to Ondrej Kolar in the Slavia goal. Ball played forward and Granit Xhaka was on hand to just step out of the back line and make an interception. Approaching the 10-minute mark here. Goalless. Tawan says, calm down, Harry. We're usually slow at the start. If Slavia don't take advantage, it's their fault. We will grow into the game. Yeah, I'm not panicking, but I just don't think our system or our balance looks quite right based on these early stages. I know there's a long way to go, and I know that we can't get too carried away and be too gung-ho. But it's not a great start as Arsenal give away a free kick on the halfway line. Lucas Provod was the player fouled. Just stepped into the pass and then was taken out by an Arsenal player. Here come Prague again. They're inside the Arsenal half. It's gone back to the halfway line now though. And the ball's with the centre half, Thomas Holles. Plays it left to David Zima. The hosts happy to have the ball in and around this area. Of course, they have the advantage as it stands. A goalless draw would see Slavia Prague qualify for the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League. Here's Kolar in goal. Chips one out towards the left-hand side. Boreal was closed down by Callum Chambers, who had come forward to increase the pressure on the Prague defence. It's all part of Mikel Arteta's pressing plan, but he doesn't look too happy with the start, Mikel Arteta. Olejinka just unable to bring that ball under control. It's going to be an Arsenal throw on the right hand side. It's very easy though, isn't it, as fans to sort of get bogged down by your team's performance, but it's not just down to your team, is it? You know, you got to look at what the opponents are doing and if they're doing it well and how they're doing it. And obviously that can be, that can change things and that can determine how comfortable you look or how able you are to implement your own game. And I think that, Prague, if they do keep us at bay, will deserve credit for that. And it won't just be because we were completely crap, if that makes sense. It's not as simple as that. Here are Prague in possession. Ball played out to the right hand side for Alexander Barr, who comes forward wearing the number 5 shirt, plays the ball in field. Olejinka looking to get away from Partey, who just got a vital toe in. Here's Lacazette into Ceballos, looks to release Nicolas Pepe. The pass wasn't quite right there for Nicolas Pepe. The idea was the right one. You can see the aim when Arsenal get the ball, win it back in the centre of the park, is to pick out Pepe, is to pick out Saka in those wide areas and hope that their pace can cause Slavia problems. Kolar with a long ball out towards the left flank. Boreal under pressure again from Callum Chambers. Chambers does well. And all of a sudden, Arsenal have a throw-in. It's back with Bernd Leno on the edge of his own penalty area. Puts a foot on it. Thinks about going short to Thomas Partey. Instead plays a long ball forward to nobody really. was almost in between Pepe and Lacazette. Not close enough to either for them to bother making a challenge for it. Big thanks to Tawana in the comments for your kind words, mate. Thank you so much. Here's Lacazette. Dispossessed, and now Slavia Prague come forward with Stanchu. Just stopped in his tracks by Thomas Partey. Referee waves play on. Here come Arsenal down the right with Emil Smith-Rowe. Now it's Bukayo Saka approaching the corner of Slavia Prague's penalty area. Gets the shot away. Bukayo Saka has come off the post and Emil Smith-Rowe turns it in. Arsenal have the away goal. Arsenal have cancelled out Slavia Prague's advantage from the first leg. It's the best possible start from the Gunners inside 15 minutes. It's Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 1. That's what you want to see. That's the way to do it. The opportunity came along. We thought it was wasted when Bukayo Saka's shot came crashing off of the post. But there was Emil Smith-Rowe in the right place at the right time to turn it in from 6-7 yards out at best. And Arsenal have that away goal. And Arsenal have cancelled out that advantage. That's important. We needed that really early on. Emil Smith-Rowe turned to check with the linesman. He turned to make sure that he was onside. There's going to be a VAR check now. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. The VAR check is ongoing. Come on. Come on. Mikel Arteta can't watch. He's turned the other way. Because the VAR is having a look at this to make sure that Emil Smith-Rowe was onside when he turned the ball into the back of Slavia Prague's net. The check feels like it's taking an absolute age here. What is the decision going to be? We've not seen a single replay from which we could tell whether he was on or offside, which makes it even more frustrating. What is the outcome going to be from this VAR check? Surely it can't take that long. Surely. Come on. Goal review. Offside, no goal. Offside, no goal. Emil Smith-Rowe's goal has been chalked off by the VAR. But we don't get a replay. So how will we ever know? Well, it's a bit of an anticlimax. Suppose I'd better change the scoreboard back down to 0-0. No goal. Thought it was the perfect start for Arsenal. Thought Arsenal had managed it. Thought Arsenal had cancelled out Slavia Prague's advantage inside 15 minutes. But according to the VAR, Emil Smith-Rowe was offside. And as plenty of you are saying in the chat, there's been no replay of it shown on our pictures. Not a replay from which you could tell anyway. Here's Pepe. Goes into the penalty area. Pepe beats his man. Whips in a good cross. Turned away on the edge of the 6-yard box by a Slavia Prague defender. Partey wins it back high up the pitch. Arsenal come again. Callum Chambers into Lacazette. Smith-Rowe's inside the box. Tries to get a shot away. Puts it through the legs of the defender. Finds Nicola Pepe. Nicola Pepe. Nicola Pepe scores. And surely that one's going to count. Arsenal are on fire here. Nicolas Pepe with the goal, and surely that one stands, and surely Arsenal have done it now. Surely Arsenal have cancelled out Slavia Prague's advantage, and Nicolas Pepe's the man to do it. But it was fantastic work from Emil Smith-Rowe in the build-up to that. Look at this. He gets a shot off, it's blocked, he gets it back, puts it through the legs of the defender and slips Nicola Pepe in, who takes a touch. You wondered if he was going to go down. You wonder if he'd wasted the opportunity by taking a little bit too long over it. But he just shifts the ball slightly left, creates a different angle for himself. The goalkeeper's already on the ground, already committed, and there he is to put it into the back of the net. Nicolas Pepe has opened the scoring for Arsenal. Please don't be a VAR check again, please. Let's just have the goal, Jesus. Check over, and the goal stands. Come on. Come on. Goal stands. Arsenal lead by a 1-0. That's what we needed. A nice early goal here to settle the nerves. And now we can relax and play our own game, because any goal that we score between now and the end of the tie now has greater significance. Jesus, that was a stressful 5 minutes or so. Here's Rob Holding, plays the ball down the right. Saka back to Chambers, ball over the top. Emile Smith-Rowe is in behind here on the right hand side. He's got Lacazette in the middle, cuts it back. Saka will get there, it'll fall to Pepe. Is it a penalty? It is. Arsenal have a penalty. It certainly looked like one at first glance. Yellow card shown to the Slavia Prague defender. It certainly looks to me like it was a penalty. Really good work from Smith-Rowe, and when you thought he was going to try and pick out Alexander Lacazette in the middle, he just cleverly cuts it back. Nicolas Pepe doesn't even get the shot off before the referee's blown the whistle. Bukayo Saka was brought down. Arsenal have a spot kick, and Arsenal have the chance to double that advantage, to add that second away goal, which would give Slavia Prague a mountain to climb. Slavia Prague would have to score 3 goals if Arsenal put this one in the back of the net. It's going to be Alexander Lacazette. This is a huge, huge penalty for the context of our season, for our hopes of going on to win the UEFA Europa League. Alexander Lacazette stands over it. Alexander Lacazette steps up and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Arsenal are in control here. Arsenal are in the driving seat. 20 minutes on the clock, 2 goals to the good. And Slavia Prague now need to score 3 times to turn this tie around. Come on. Come on. Great start to the night. Just gives the little dummy, the little stutter in the run-up. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way and calmly dispatches into the bottom right corner. Alexander Lacazette, cool as you like, wearing the captain's armband today and stepping up to the plate when it mattered. But great work again from Arsenal down the right. Emile Smith-Rowe, the architect again. He gives us so much, and you can see what it means to Mikel Arteta. Big shout out to Paul Nell as well for your very, very kind super chat donation, Paul. Thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate that, and your constant support, of course. The beer is paying off, as Tesh says in the chat. My God. I feel a lot better about the whole thing now, I'll tell you that. Really good job from the Gunners in this opening 21 minutes or so. We talked in the lead up about the need to get that away goal as soon as possible, and we've gone one better than that because we've got 2. And we're in full control of this tie now. Akshay says you need to have a beer every game, mate. Works for us. Yeah, I'll bear that in mind. Mr. Marlowe says apparently it's a terrible, terrible lineup. Exactly. And that was what I was saying at the top of the programme. See how it pans out first. It gives us defensive stability, and then it allows the likes of Smith-Rowe to make things happen. And you're just having a look at the offside. We're now seeing a replay of the initial goal that Emile Smith-Rowe scored that was chalked off, and he was a toe offside. Looks like it was the right decision in the end. But it was frustrating not to see it at the time. Big hello to Nigo in the chat as well. Hope you're all good. There's over 150 of you with us right now. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Ball forward, which Granit Xhaka picks up and wins a throw-in for his team. Mikel Arteta just passing on instructions to his players out there on the field. Xhaka goes back to Rob Holding in the heart of the defence. He hooks it clear with his left foot. Xhaka into Emil Smith-Rowe. Lovely first touch again from Emil Smith-Rowe. Finds Callum Chambers. He's done brilliantly to find Saka on the flank. Cuts inside his man, Bukayo Saka. Chance to shoot. And Bukayo Saka adds a third. And surely now Arsenal have a foot in the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League. They needed a performance. They needed to make a statement. And Mikel Arteta's team have gone out there and blown Slavia Prague away inside just 25 minutes. Bukayo Saka on the score sheet, adding the third. That is what you like to see. Quick, incisive breakaway football again. Callum Chambers with a ball into Saka, cut inside his man, and from the edge of the box, wrong foots the goalkeeper, beats him at the near post. Arsenal are flying here. And for those of you who sat there last week crying, moaning, bitching, whinging about Mikel Arteta and about this Arsenal team, and who called me deluded when I said that we were miles better than this Slavia Prague side, well, now you are seeing it. Come on, you Gunners. Whew. We're in dreamland. 4-1 up on aggregate. 3 away goals on the board. Whew. 3 away goals on the board, and you feel now that we're in a great place. We're in a great place. Thomas Partey so far has been imperious in midfield, winning balls back, passing play on, getting Arsenal moving. Callum Chambers has been excellent on the right hand side. Emil Smith-Rowe, fantastic. Saka too. They've all been brilliant so far. And as Sam says, bring on Unai Emery. Exactly. Almost time to top up the drink. Here are Slavia Prague in possession now with Alexander Barr. Ball played forward in towards Kuchta, sorry, I should say. Ball whipped in from the right hand side, takes a deflection up in the air. Arsenal will win it back. Who's telling me to change my score? It's right. Unless you're behind. Arsenal win the ball back at left back as chipped forward. Lovely flick from Pepe. Arsenal playing with a real swagger now. Here's Lacazette, ball in field to Pepe. Arsenal have a man over on the far side. It's Bukayo Saka. Here he comes, driving at the penalty area again. He's got Chambers on the outside. Chambers low across the penalty area. Almost picked out Emil Smith-Rowe, who's waiting inside the 6-yard box to turn it into the goal. Really good last gasp defending from Slavia Prague there. But Arsenal with another sweeping counter-attack. They play brilliant football and are causing Slavia Prague all sorts of problems here. All sorts of problems indeed. "27 minutes on the clock. And Arsenal have a corner. Could they add a fourth? Michael says, Harry, pour another drink. This is worth it. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. Dani Ceballos is going to deliver the corner from the right hand side. In it comes. Arsenal make nothing of it though, unfortunately. Ends up going out for a goal kick. Thomas Partey was there. He was in the mix. We're just having another look at that Saka goal. It's such a clever finish from Bukayo Saka because the keeper would have expected him to try and bend that into the far corner, and he just rolls it back. Almost Harry Kane-like. I hate to say it because he's a Tottenham player, but that's what Harry Kane does so often. He looks as though he's going to go to the far post and he just drags it back inside the near post. Kevin Sean, well spotted. It is a Cobra beer tonight. I had Keo last time and it cost us. So I thought about that before the game. I can be quite superstitious with that kind of thing. Arsenal win it back high up again. Smith Rowe almost getting in behind. Over 220 of you watching at the moment. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It's really important for the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Help us get up to 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. That would be great. Massive thank you goes out to Chris Pickerel for your very kind super chat donation of $20. Chris, thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. He says, I can't watch, but this is even better. Chris, thank you. Really appreciate the support, mate. All the best. Big hello to Zoe as well, who's joining us from Ireland. Hope you're well. Slavia Prague in possession, deep inside their own half at the moment. Ball forward. Paul says, I think Harry is drinking some Stella. It's rubbing off. I think if you're referring to Nigel drinks Stella. Stella's a poor man's beer, my friend. I'll teach you. When I say poor man's, I don't mean in terms of the cost. I mean, it's just not a great beer, in my opinion. That's all. Westbird says you can only do commentary from now on with a beer in your hand, Harry. Yep, I think that's the way forward. I've actually got a bet on this game as well. I did put a bet on yesterday when I was feeling in a confident mood, where I went for Arsenal to win -1. So that means Arsenal to win the game by more than 1 goal, essentially. And we're 3-0 up, so that's looking good as well. I think everybody's on the drink tonight. It's very much needed. Now, as Steve says, it makes such a nice change watching stress-free, doesn't it? Here comes Slavia down the left-hand side with the captain, Jan Boril. Emil Smith-Rowe wins it back, though, for Arsenal. It's all the way back to the Ondrej Kolar, or to the Slavia Prague goalkeeper, Ondrej Kolar, I should say. Here is Stanchu into Olejinka. And I mean, listen, Arsenal have been fantastic, right? We really have. But having celebrated the way they did, sort of at the end of that first leg, Jindřich Čerpovský must be completely beside himself. To watch his team celebrate as though they just bloody won the Europa League was one thing. And then for them to turn up and turn in a performance like this and be completely blown away by Arsenal inside half an hour is incredible. Marshall says, my God, Harry, what is in that bit? Is this because I'm more animated than I normally am? I've been taking so much shit from everybody. Not you guys in the chat, because look, there are people that disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. And there are people in this chat that disagree with me often, but when we disagree, we have a discussion about it, we talk about it, I share my views, you share your views, and that's absolutely fine. But off the back of that first leg, when Arsenal were beaten, I've done a lot of media work in the last week or so, and I've taken so much stick for suggesting that Arsenal are a better team than Slavia Prague. So I'm extra animated tonight because I feel like the point needed to be made, and the point needed to be, you know, at a time when I was getting sort of pelters from all directions because I said that I still expected Arsenal to go through, because I said, you know, that Arsenal are a better side than Slavia Prague. It is quite ridiculous, and especially based on what we're seeing here tonight. Tell says, if anyone can fuck this up, it's us. That's also true. That is true. But I wouldn't expect even us to make a mess of this. Here is Saka on the right. Plays it infield to Emil Smith-Rowe, who's been so key to everything we've done so far. Ball whipped in by Callum Chambers, headed clear at the near post. Big hello to Cole Alftenkamp. Says, Harry, you're a legend. I love you, and the haters can piss off. Thank you very much, mate. Arsenal have had 3 corners so far. Opportunity for Arsenal to get the ball into the penalty area. Big thank you to Paul for your kind donation as well, mate. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Poor man's beer. Yep, and thank you to Paul, because every time Paul turns up, he's not even an Arsenal fan, but he turns up to join us and he brings us good luck. Love to Marshall B as well. In comes the corner, left-footed delivery towards the far post. Pablo Mari rises, heads it down. Will it break for Arsenal here? Rob Holding looks to get a shot off. He thought he was caught. There were other Arsenal players appealing. Rob Holding not so much. Whew. Just having another look at this. Did Arsenal have grounds for a penalty here? Rob Holding just wound his leg back to get the shot away. And Peter Olejinka certainly impedes Rob Holding there. We certainly had a case. And a big thank you to everyone in the chat for all your kind words about the channel, about everything. They're moving so fast that I will undoubtedly miss some of them. So I just want to say thanks to all of you for your constant support. Rob Holding stepping out of defence, making a really good, strong challenge there. Throwing on the right-hand side. Marshall B, thank you for your kind donation as well, mate. Honestly, thank you all so much. Truly overwhelmed by the support. And it means I can restock the beer fridge so that we can keep going forward as we go with each game. Beer in one hand, laptop in the other. And hopefully that'll bring us some good luck. Arsenal conceded throw-in the left-back position. Danny Ceballos. Oh, it looks like it's been given actually Arsenal's way. Let's have another look at that. Ceballos got a touch on it. He sort of insisted that Provod was the man who got a final touch on it. I don't think he did, but the throw-in's been given Arsenal's way anyway. It's on the left-hand side and Xhaka takes it. Throws it infield to Alexander Lacazette, looking to release Emil Smith-Rowe. He'd made a run through the middle. Pass was cut out though, and Slavia have it on the right-hand side with Olejinka. Here's Thomas Holles. Plays it to David Zima. Ball chipped forward in behind Pablo Mari here. Olejinka backheels it into the path of his teammate who strikes. It was Alexander Barr. He was inside the box there, Alexander Barr. Not a clear-cut chance because the angle wasn't ideal and he was under pressure. But it is a half chance at the very least. And one that you feel Slavia Prague would need to take if they're going to find a way back in this game. It's one that we hope they don't take, and we hope they don't find a way back in. But of course, from their perspective, that'll go down as an opportunity. And you can see the disappointment on Tripovsky's face. Zoe in Ireland says her dad was a huge Arsenal fan. Of course, Arsenal traditionally as a football club, in years gone by especially, and that's obviously kicked on and continued, have a really, really close affiliation with Irish supporters. Big Irish fan base, of course. Plenty of Irish players represented the club in history as well. Not so much nowadays, but it's certainly a historic link that Arsenal have, and it's great to hear that that's continuing in Ireland now. Saka chips the ball forward towards Emil Smith-Rowe. Goes down on the edge of the box. No free kick though. Clever pass from Saka, just trying to pick out Emil Smith-Rowe, but you can see he just lost his footing. It wasn't a foul. Here are Slavia Prague in possession. Zoe, sorry to hear about your father. But it's great to know that he had great taste in football teams. So thank you for sharing, and wish you all the best. And a big shout out to all our viewers, listeners over in Ireland. Here come Prague with possession. Here's Provod. Strolls it infield. Prague in possession still. Inside Arsenal's half. Here's Provod. Bringing the ball forward. Plays it right to Olejinka, who's pulled out onto the right flank for Slavia Prague. Arsenal well camped behind the ball at the moment. Olejinka inside the box, picks out a teammate. Central Stanciu gets a shot off, blocked in the crucial moment by Thomas Partey, I think it came off. Big hello to Kyle Clark as well. Ball chipped forward by Slavia Prague again, just cushioned into the feet of Thomas Partey by Pablo Mari. There's been a goal in the game between Villarreal and Dinamo Zagreb. Alcacer has scored the goal for Villarreal. They are 2 goals to the good now in that tie. And of course they have an away goal from the first leg. So it does look, based on how things are seeming at the moment, that Arsenal will meet Unai Emery in the semi-finals of the Europa League. I don't know how I'd bear that one. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Unai Emery. You know, we know he's got a good record in this competition though. Whatever you think about him, there's no getting away from that. He even took Arsenal to the final, even though, you know, probably largely his Arsenal sort of career wasn't majorly wasn't successful. But he did take us to the Europa League final. It is a competition he's traditionally done well in. But you'd hope that Arsenal would have enough to get through that one. It's going to be a really nervy affair. Adam says, Harry, I don't watch La Liga, but how are Villarreal looking under Emery? I'm not sure at the moment, mate. I mean, I've seen their league position, obviously, but I haven't watched them. I don't really watch La Liga either. I'm a massive Serie A fan. And the time I'm not watching the Premier League, I'm watching that. So what I will do is I will get our resident La Liga expert, Jonas Yever, back on the show in the lead up to that game. So we'll have a chat with Jonas and we'll get the download on Villarreal. So if I can't give you the insight, I'll make sure I bring someone on who does or who can. Here's Xhaka into Lacazette on the halfway line. Back to Xhaka. Plays it square to Partey. He's got Chambers on the outside of him. Instead goes for a more direct ball towards Bukayo Saka, but he was unable to pick out his teammate there, the Ghanaian, and Slavia Prague are back in possession. Here's Provod in the centre circle. Just rolls it to David Zima. Now it's Peter Sevcik. It's on the right hand side now with Nikolai Stanciu. Apologies, it was Alexander Barr. Ball dinked out to the right hand side. Olejinka takes it down on his chest. Barr coming up on the outside of him, picks it up. Olejinka infield. Lovely bit of skill there from Stanciu. Ball will break to Olejinka to the right of the penalty area. Cuts it back low. Stanciu's got it inside the box. Tries to fashion the space for a shot. Slavia putting us under a bit of pressure in the last few minutes as they look to find a way back into the game. Lacazette concedes a corner after Barr's attempted shot towards goal. Lovely little bit of skill that from Stanciu. I said it in the lead up to this tie. Stanciu for me is their most talented player. Real flair player. Seen him playing for Romania on a couple of occasions. Ball whipped in from the right hand side, headed by Rob Holding, and then Emil Smith-Rowe hooks it further. Ball's up in the air. Bukayo Saka might pick up the loose ball. Rob Holding into Pepe. Lovely first time ball into Saka. Looks to pick out Lacazette, but he just didn't have the pace there, Alexander Lacazette, to get away from his man. But Arsenal win it back high up the pitch here with Xhaka. Rolls it infield to Partey. Beautifully rolled actually with the outside of his boot. Here's Pepe into Saka. Looks for the 1-2, but the pass from Saka back to the Ivorian was slightly short. Here come Slavia Prague on the attack again. Good work from Rob Holding. He read exactly what Jan Kuchta had planned to do there. Dealt with it brilliantly. You can see there's some spam in the chat. I always find it difficult to do this while I'm while I'm trying to do the watch along. That's why we've got moderators. Ball coming in from the right-hand side from Slavia Prague. Picked up by Arsenal as they look to break away. Wesbird says, would you say this is our best performance in Europe so far this season? Yeah, because of what's riding on it as well. You know, that obviously makes a difference, and it obviously adds to the pressure of the situation. Villarreal have a second goal, by the way. Gerard Moreno with the goal, so they are pretty much through, setting up a showdown. Setting up a showdown with Unai Emery's former club. Prague have a free kick from the right-hand side. You thought they'd lump it into the penalty area. They didn't. Slavia in possession on the halfway line. Here they come with Nikolai Stanch, who's about midway inside Arsenal's half. Stuck for options though. Finds Provod, who was just on the outside of him. Here is Bar on the right hand side for Slavia. Whips one in. Dealt with at the near post by Xhaka. Xhaka's there again. And Xhaka wins Arsenal a throw-in. Whew. 2 minutes of time added on at the end of this first period. Arsenal in a really commanding position as things stand. As Paul Nell says, if we were nervous for today's game, wait for the matchup against Emery. Yeah, for me in particular. Because I've almost been labelled as the anti-Unai Emery sort of campaigner that, you know, in the sort of lead up to his sacking. I wasn't a fan of his, but if you listen to some people, they'll tell you that I wanted him sacked after 3 months, which is absolutely ludicrous. But social media is a funny old place. Big hello to 1-0 to the Arsenal, says, big up Harry. This is certainly the calm before the storm. Losing and crashing out to Villarreal next round would all but certainly ruin Arteta's claims at a process. Why would you even want to spoil tonight by discussing the prospect of losing to Unai Emery's Villarreal? Like, this is what I mean about like some people, like, and no offense to you in particular, mate, but you know, we're winning in Europe, we're winning comfortably, we've turned around a losing position into a winning one, and we're already talking about Arteta being sacked for losing a game that we haven't even played yet. It's absolute madness. It's madness. Just enjoy it. Just support the team and enjoy it. It says didn't mean to be negative. And listen, it's not specific to you, right? I've heard those comments sort of over the last few weeks, but it just feels to me like we should just be enjoying this, you know. Enjoy it. We're football fans, and we can't enjoy wins. If you want to suffer defeats and you know, be miserable when we get beat, but then you don't even want to enjoy the wins, then I wonder why people even watch the game and why they even follow a team. You know, it's we've got to enjoy the moments, the positives, because there will be a hell of a lot of negatives as well. But I don't like to preempt them, if that makes sense. Callum Chambers takes the throw in from the right hand side. Ball's played forward by Thomas Partey. Back to the Slavia Prague goalkeeper. Half-time whistle goes in Prague. Arsenal in a very, very commanding position. Arsenal leading Slavia Prague by 3-0 at half-time. We thought we'd taken the lead through Emil Smith-Rowe, only to see that goal chalked off. Nicola Pepe then opened the scoring before Alexander Lacazette converted from the penalty spot. And just 3 minutes after that, Saka turned one in. Arsenal have scored 3 goals in 6 minutes, and Arsenal are in complete and utter control of this tie. Brilliant stuff. Loving it. Big hello to Joseph as well, who's listening to us from Kenya. Hope you are good, my friend. And listen, I'm going to take a very, very short break just because I'm exhausted. I've had a really, really busy day at work. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. No more than that. So don't go anywhere. Please, don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. All right, you know what? Screw the break. I want to talk about it. I've enjoyed it so much that I want to talk about it. Let's forget the break. We can do that another time. We could do that on a game when we're losing. Let's discuss that first half, because that was a really, really impressive performance from Arsenal. You know, the pressure was tenfold. Arsenal under incredible pressure to turn this tie around. The season was hanging in the balance. Arsenal desperately in need of, finding a way, back into the tie, and an early goal was imperative. It was so important. It was so key. And Arsenal managed it. Arsenal not only managed to score one, but they end up going on to score three inside the first half. And all of a sudden, we're in a fantastic position, and we look as though we are through to the next round. And it's brilliant to see. It is fantastic to see, because this is how we are supposed to play. This is what the vision is. To win the ball high up the pitch, to put teams under pressure, to move the ball quickly and incisively. And when we're without certain players, that isn't always possible. Just like with any team, when your key players are missing, you won't be able to function at capacity. You won't be able to function at your best level. And the thing is that Emile Smith-Rowe is a prime example of that. Somebody who's come into the side, has been incredible, has shown flair, has shown vision, has shown industry. You need your best players to be fit at any level for you to be able to compete. And the difference at Arsenal, unfortunately, between those important players and some of the ones who are maybe sort of on the fringes is quite significant. And I don't think people always realise that. But when you've got the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe firing, you've got somebody like Granit Xhaka, who deserves a lot of praise tonight, right? Because I always praise Granit Xhaka, but what I want people to recognise tonight is that you've asked the centre midfielder to go and play at left back tonight, and he has not complained, not moaned, got on with it, done an extremely professional job. And for anyone who hasn't listened to the open mic thing that Arsenal posted earlier in the week with him, with the mic on him, obviously, during the game against Sheffield United, you only need to listen to that to know what a leader he is. Pablo Mari comes in at centre-back and brings a calmness alongside Rob Holding. A calmness that, as good as Gabriel is, he doesn't bring to the table. And I talked about the fact that, you know, if Holding was going to play, Mari had to play alongside him. We spoke about that in the build-up to the game. And you're seeing that tonight. You're seeing a solidarity. Every single, as Sam says in the chat, every single Arsenal player tonight has been brilliant, has been fantastic. Arsenal have taken the chances that have come along. They've grabbed the chance with both hands. And as a result, we're in the driving seat and we have 1.5 feet in the Europa League semi-finals. This Europa League could be huge. This Europa League could lead to Arsenal getting back in the Champions League. And listen, if Arsenal get back into the Champions League, it's not because I think that, I'm not going to be delighted because I think that Arsenal are going to go into the Champions League and compete for it and win it and go all the way. No. I'd be delighted because Arsenal need the finance that comes with it. Arsenal need that cash injection. Arsenal need that boost. And when we talk about the process and we talk about, the process, we talk about what that means and what that means in terms of transfer activity. Well, actually, that transfer activity can be accelerated. And the process only works if you can back the manager up for him to take the steps that he feels are needed. And he can only take those steps in the transfer market if the money's there. And if Arsenal aren't in Europe, the money ain't there. It's as simple as that. So, when I say to people, get behind the team, support the team, regardless of your thoughts on Mikel Arteta's job so far, acknowledge that this is huge. This Europa League campaign is huge for Arsenal as a football club. It's not just about the here and now. It's huge for Arsenal as a football club for the next 3-4 seasons. Because without European football and without sort of the Wolves easing off of Mikel Arteta a little bit, then we can't see that process take shape. We can't see the end product because we won't give him the time to get there. I know that the league position is unacceptable and I understand why a lot of people are upset about it, frustrated about it, disappointed about it. And I'm not saying that winning the Europa League or getting to the final or whatever would mask that or should paper over those cracks. But what I'm saying is it buys Mikel a little bit more time. And for him to do the job that he needs to do, he needs the time. I believe the club will give it to him. But I hate the toxic atmosphere that seems to creep into our support when the club and the fans, or a proportion of the fans, are not on the same page. So it's important that we avoid that negative atmosphere. We've been down that road with the end of Arsene Wenger's tenure. Where did that get us? Absolutely nowhere. We've ended up further behind. We've ended up worse off. Not because Arsene Wenger should have stayed forever, but because the negativity around our fan base and the divide and all of that just makes Arsenal a horrible place to be. And we don't want that. We don't want that moving forward. I am going to take a short break now, just for one moment, and I will be back and we will go through that second half. So stay exactly where you are. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner live watch along of Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Arsenal currently 3 goals up in Prague and in cruise control here. Got 1.5 feet, as I keep saying, in the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League, which is fantastic, particularly given the kind of negativity I guess projected by many supporters in the lead up to this game. But the drinks are flowing, the team are winning, the football's been great. What more could you possibly want on a Thursday night? Let me know your thoughts on that first period in the chat box. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the like button in particular on the video. And if you're not subscribed to the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. Help us get to 13,000 as quickly as we possibly can. We've got 136 likes at the moment. Let's get up to 150 ASAP. That would be a massive help. Where are we at on subscribers? I think we're about, we're 100 shy of hitting the 13,000 mark. So if you are new to the channel, if you're not already subscribed, if you're just popping in, checking us out during the live watch along, then please do hit the subscribe button. There is daily Arsenal content at your fingertips, and we would love to have you on board. So give it a go. Why not? Almost ready to get back underway in this one. The second half is just around the corner. Big hello to everybody who's been in the live chat throughout the shows, in the live chat now. Hope you're all good. Thank you to everyone who has donated a super chat. Thank you for your kind support. It really does mean the world to me, and it helps me to be able to spend more time on the channel and bring you guys more content. It's a pretty good night all around. Big hello to Eli in the chat box as well. 1-0 to the Arsenal says, I would rather have a season out of Europe to truly rebuild, but agree to disagree. I understand the sentiment behind that, and I understand why that sounds appealing. But what I would say, my friend, is the problem with that is that it's the money side. If Arsenal were in a really good financial position, I would completely agree with you. But without Europe, it's going to be very difficult for Arsenal to raise money for transfers, particularly going under this self-sustaining model. So I agree that from a purely footballing perspective, giving Mikel Arteta a week between each game, giving him more time on the training ground is obviously a positive. But I just think in the situation we find ourselves in right now, being without Europe for me would be a disaster. So I get the concept of that, and particularly during a pandemic, as you say, it's even more important that Arsenal get that money in. So I understand the concept and I understand the thinking behind it, but it doesn't work in Arsenal's case. It works sometimes in the case of some clubs, and maybe if Arsenal, when they fell out the Champions League, initially, maybe had Arsenal spent a season out of Europe, then it might have been different. But the financial situation has got progressively worse, and that's why we are where we are now. Slavia are making a couple of changes. Oscar Dorley is coming on. He started the first leg, so was kind of surprised that he wasn't in the team today. And Linga, wearing the number 32, comes on for Slavia Prague as well. So he replaces Nikolai Stanchu, interestingly. So a couple of changes there for Slavia Prague at half-time. There are 3 changes. Lucas Masopust as well. So 3 changes from Slavia Prague at half-time. Arsenal, 4. Have they made 4 changes? What, have they taken off their whole team for a league game or something? Or is Trupovsky that unhappy with what he's seen in that first period? Who knows? But we're back underway. What's going on with the clock? Just frozen there momentarily. There we go. Let me sort that out. Just quickly give it a little nudge. Great thing is about this clock is that when it isn't working for you, there we go, you can manually sync it up, which is fantastic. Here comes Slavia Prague in possession now, coming down the right-hand side. Still in possession are the hosts. Arsenal in a much deeper position than they started the game, of course, but it's because we got a 3-goal lead to hold on to. Is that a new beer, Harry? I've poured myself another one, but it's the same beer. Got a fridge full of them. Here are Prague in possession. No, I didn't get the chili Pringles. I didn't. I forgot. I probably should have. I'm going to regret that now. I'm going to regret that. Inter says, I'm in a good mood for once, Harry. That's good to see, man. I knew we'd catch you in a good mood one day. Here are Slavia in possession around about the halfway line now with David Symeou. Plays the ball forward and then gets it straight back. Just rolls it to the right-hand side. Chipped forward in behind the Arsenal defence, but Pablo Mari will just usher the ball back to Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal. Just a quick reminder of the Arsenal lineup if you're joining us late. Bernd Leno is the goalkeeper. Callum Chambers holding Pablo Mari and Granit Xhaka are the back four. Midfield duo of Thomas Partey and Dani Ceballos, with Pepe and Saka operating from the two flanks. Emile Smith-Rowe playing through the middle, and Alexander Lacazette leads the line. Zoe says, have you ever been to Ireland? No, I haven't, but it's on my to-do list. Love a trip to Ireland, but it's not something I've had the pleasure of doing just yet. Arsenal win a free kick inside their own half. Alexander Lacazette, the man who was fouled, just came short to receive the ball, and Thomas Holles came into the back of him. Here's Saka on the right wing for Arsenal. He's approaching the penalty area, steps inside it, goes past one, goes past the second, stands it up to Emile Smith-Rowe on the edge of the box, cushions it back to Granit Xhaka. Lovely little ball in between the defenders to pick up Emile Smith-Rowe, who's done brilliantly to win a corner off of Lucas Provod. Alex says, will Emile Smith-Rowe win the Ballon d'Or? What, the Croydon De Bruyne? Maybe. Maybe one day. Arsenal have a corner from their left-hand side. It's going to be Dani Ceballos to take it. Right-footed. Pablo Mari is forward, as is Rob Holding. In comes the delivery towards the far post. Met by an Arsenal head, but Olayinka will bring it away on the edge of his own box as he won a foul. It's not even Olayinka, is it? Abdallah Sima, I think. Who was it that's... I'm just trying to work out. Let me just go through those Slavia changes just because it wasn't completely clear. So on are Oscar Dorley, Lukas Masopust, Andre Linga and Denis Wyszynski. And off went Jakub Kromada, Jan Borrell, Nikolai Stanciu and Alexander Bar. So that was Oscar Dorley who went down on the edge of his own box. My apologies. I've been so carried away with Arsenal's performance and getting into it tonight. I haven't done a very professional job in terms of keeping on top of the Slavia Prague substitutions. That's why I love doing the watch-alongs, because when I'm doing actual commentaries, I have to be professional at all times. But when I'm doing this with you guys, who I regard as my family now, it's a lot more chilled out, but at the same time want to bring you the best content possible. As Saka looks to chip one out towards Emile Smith-Rowe on the right side. Here comes Slavia Prague. Can they spring some sort of counter-attack? Well, they've taken too long. And Arsenal have managed to get plenty of bodies behind the ball. 50 minutes on the clock. Slavia 0, Arsenal 3. Here comes Slavia. Here's Dorley. Gets it back, but I thought he'd got it back. Bukayo Saka just nipped in there. But he wasn't able to retain possession either. Ajax have scored a goal against Roma. course, Roma have 2 away goals, but the score is level for now. But Ajax still need another. Apologies. Ajax still need another. I do feel, though, that Roma are better equipped to beat Man United. Because they've got a little bit more experience. They're a little bit more streetwise. Yeah, I think I'd prefer that Roma play Man United, if I'm honest. That's my view on it anyway. Maybe I've got some Serie A bias in there. Here are Slavia Prague in possession. Here's Olayinka inside the box, puts a low cross in. Will it fall for a Slavia Prague body? Shot taken by the centre-back Symeou, who had come forward there, and he's won Slavia Prague a corner. Whew. Big hello to Paul Schneider, who's just joined us as well. And to Paul Hales, who says it's been a while since we've had a chilled out Arsenal game in Europe. Absolutely. Alex points out that we're 6-0 up on the week. That's always good to hear. I wish it worked like that. That would be good. Here is Dawley at the back for Slavia Prague. Every Arsenal player, barring Alexander Lacazette, is behind the ball as it stands. Yeah, I'd love an Arsenal-Roma final. Obviously, well, I'd rather that we get the shittest team, but I think that we could still beat Roma. But I think I'd prefer them to have a go at Man United for us than Ajax. Wonder around about what point Mikel Arteta will think about making changes, because we are in a really controlling position. We are in a, corner came in from Slavia, just headed away, and Dawley will pick it up. Can he get it back in the box? What I mean to say is we are in a really good position, and will he look at the Premier League now and think that Saturday represents, or Sunday I should say, represents an opportunity for Arsenal to get back into the mix there as well. 45 points we're on. Liverpool in 6th are on 52. So 7 points gap there. 7th could potentially get Arsenal in the Europa Conference League. I don't know if we want to be in that, but we're 4 points off of Spurs in 7th. So we could at least finish above Spurs and give that a real go. Spurs, of course, travel to Everton on Friday night. Or take on Everton. I'm not sure who's home or who's away. Everton are home. So I wonder if at some point in this game Mikel will maybe shift the focus onto the weekend. Who knows? Unfortunately, there isn't going to be a watch along at the weekend due to work commitments, which is a bit of a bummer. But we'll be back with a post-match pod, of course, as always on Sunday evening. And I think we'll look to get one of those phone-ins organised as well. All in the pipeline. I often set out to do things and then work gets in the way, but we'll do my best. But we'll definitely bring you the post-match pod after the Fulham game. Be in the evening. And we'll do all our usual preview stuff as well in the lead up to that one. Paul's watching us from Valencia, Spain, just down the road from Villarreal. He says, bring it on. Slavia with a free kick from the right-hand side, whipped into the Arsenal penalty area, met by the head of Olayinka, and it will land on the roof of Bernd Leno's net. Bernd Leno had it covered, had it under control. It's like we've conditioned ourselves in the Europa League to have late dramas and to be nervous and to be frustrated. But it seems weird being 55 minutes in and being in complete control. Ajax have got a second goal in Rome, and now Ajax lead the tie. Dusan Tadic is the man with the goal, and Dusan Tadic missed a penalty in the first leg, so he's made up for that by netting in the Stadio Olimpico. Big news for Ajax. Disaster potentially on the cards for Roma. Andre Collar with a long ball forward. Callum Chambers just lost out and he's having to turn and run back towards his own goal. Olejinka trying to slip in a teammate, but a cross came. Was it Granit Xhaka? Was it Granit Xhaka? It was either Granit Xhaka or Pablo Mari who came across. It might have been Rob Holding. I'm confusing myself now. Java Gaming says the only good thing about this pandemic is the Arsenal watch-alongs with Harry. Unfortunately, when we do return to grounds, I'll be at the games, which obviously means there won't be watch-alongs. But what that means is there will be content from the grounds immediately at the full-time whistle, which I just started to get in the swing of doing actually before the lockdown hit. And they were a hit in terms of the response, so I look forward to doing those again. Instead of doing the instant match reaction podcast live, get a short video out from outside the stadium, and then following that, we'll do the deep dive a little bit later on. So don't worry, we'll replace this content with some other content. Sam says, I thought you were going to say we could all watch from the man cave. You're welcome. I reckon we could get about 8 people in here comfortably. Maybe we'll prioritise it for the members. Don't forget, if you wish to support the channel further, and it isn't compulsory, but if you wish to do it, then I am hugely appreciative. You can become a member of the Chronicles of a Gooner by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up, you'll get access to some additional content, as well as access to our members Discord server. Here come Arsenal on the attack. Alexander Lacazette's gone down in the penalty area. He wants a penalty. The Turkish referee waves play on. Wonder if they're going to have a look at this, the VAR. Lacazette just cut inside his man and had his legs taken away there by Thomas Holles. He certainly has a case there. The Frenchman play continues though, and nothing doing. Stadio the Man Cave, Stad the Man Cave. Being a big Italian football fan, instead of the San Siro, I call it the San Symeou. There you go. And that's, you guys are right in the chat, that Ajax second goal has been chalked off. Brian Wilson says, Harry, don't you think Arteta should bring in Balogun at this time? I think I wouldn't make too many changes just yet. I would leave it another 10 minutes or so and then start considering the changes, because you don't want Slavia to nick one goal, disrupt our momentum, and then potentially face a nervy finish. So I'd rather we just waited 10 more minutes or so. Now, even if they scored 3, even if they came back to 3-3, we'd still go through. That's how comfortable this is at the moment. But Mikel Arteta, you can tell by the look on his face, is keen for the standards not to drop. He's keen to see this team maintain their concentration levels and keep Slavia Prague out for the entirety of this fixture. Big hello to the Spornix. Cheers from Puerto Rico, watching along vicariously through you. Thank you, mate. Hope you're well. Whew. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so comfortable and so relaxed and so chilled out in an Arsenal game in Europe. Almost feels strange, doesn't it? Weird. Certainly not the norm. Here is Emile Smith-Rowe on the halfway line. Just rolls it back to Thomas Partey. Now it's with Pablo Mari. Plays the ball out towards the left. Pepe will challenge for it in the air. Nods it on to Dani Ceballos, who made a run forward. Big hello to Roger Richardson as well, joining us in the chat box. He says, how's it going, Harry? Great day to be an Arsenal fan. It is indeed. It's a great day to be an Arsenal fan because we're performing. And it's an even better day to be an Arsenal fan because of the negativity that has been sort of floating around in the lead up to this game, and how many Arsenal fans had zero faith in this team to deliver. So it does feel good when Arsenal prove the doubters wrong. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe on the right hand side. Partey looks for Smith-Rowe, did well to get his body in the way, and Emil Smith-Rowe wins Arsenal a free kick on the right hand side. Mikel Arteta is barking on some kind of instructions, in particular to Pablo Mari. Not sure what he's unhappy with. Smith-Rowe just drawing the foul out of his opponent. In that instance, it was Petr Sevcik, I think, who made the challenge. Yep, Emil Smith-Rowe just putting his leg out, getting his body in the right position to draw the foul out of the Slavia Prague man. And Arsenal have a free kick on the right hand side. Akshay says Emil Smith-Rowe is looking a bit leggy, needs to get some rest. I completely agree with that, because, you know, one of my big concerns about Emil Smith-Rowe, look, there's no concern about his talent. He's fantastic. And, you know, he's proven it again tonight. He's proven it on numerous occasions this season. But I do worry about his fitness, and I worry about the frequency with which he breaks down. He would be one of the first players I would take off tonight, yeah, for sure. There's been an incident, a challenge on Dani Ceballos, and Granit Xhaka has gone over to make his point to the Slavia Prague players. Shakir, the referee, is desperately trying to avoid things spilling over. It's been a yellow card shown. Arsenal showing a united front, though. That's what you like to see. Pablo Mari currently having a word with the referee. Xhaka was adjudged to have fouled the Slavia player. There certainly was nothing there. And then Ole Yinka has just caught Ceballos there. And Mikel Arteta's livid about it on the sidelines. He must have seen something that we didn't quite see from the replays we were shown. Situation's calmed down now, though. Ole Yinka booked. Still moaning about it, Ole Yinka. But we can't afford to get dragged into or involved in these silly little games. That's what Slavia want. It's exactly what Slavia want. Ball whipped out to the left-hand side by Andre Koller in the Slavia Prague goal. They've got the ball inside their own penalty area here. 64 minutes pretty much on the clock. Arsenal in the driving seat. 3 goals to the good. 4-1 up on aggregate. And perhaps more significantly than any of that, it's 4 away goals. Mr. Marlowe says, I think you have represented the silent majority really well over the last few weeks. The others base their mood on either individual games or bias. Keep doing what you do. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Xhaka with a throw-in from the left-hand side. He's looking for options. Not much in terms of movement for him. Finds Lacazette in the end to the left of the Prague penalty area. Smith-Rowe's on it now. Goes back to Xhaka. He finds Ceballos. Arsenal forced back by Slavia's press. Bernd Leno has it now. Into Partey, who dropped deep and played it first time into holding. Nice ball down the line to find Saka. Arsenal do really well to play their way out of trouble here. And now all of a sudden the pitch has opened up on the left-hand side. Can Arsenal make something happen? Here comes Xhaka driving forward. Finds Pepe on the outside of him. Takes a touch, the Ivorian. He's got bodies in the penalty area, but just hesitated about throwing the ball into the penalty area. Goes all the way back to Xhaka. And do you know what? Arsenal should be keeping the ball now. Arsenal should be trying to take the sting out of this one. Here's Pepe in behind them after a good ball from Sabas. Whips it in low across the penalty area. Cut out at the near post. It might fall to Smith Rowe. He's going to go out for a Slavia Prague goal kick as he closes down the defender. Thomas Holles, who just cut that out and then looked to clear it. Mohamed El Neni is about to come on. Feels like a bit of a insurance substitution to bring on Mohamed El Neni, who is going to be replaced. It's going to be Emil Smith Rowe. And Emil Smith Rowe has had a fantastic game for Arsenal this evening. He wasn't 100% fit, I'd imagine, going into this one. He doesn't often last much longer than sort of 65, 70 minutes at his peak condition, at his peak level. But he's been sensational today. He's made the difference. And for me, he is Arsenal's man of the match, even though he's gone off on 66 minutes. That is how good Emil Smith Rowe has been for me. And I don't think that any performance is going to top that between now and the end of the game. So Emil Smith Rowe, sensational performance. Really, really enjoyed it. And I think is Arsenal's man of the match, I've got to say. Here are Slavia Prague in possession, looking to get in behind Granit Xhaka again, but the Swiss international will just let the ball run and allow it to go out for an Arsenal goal kick. Masters Weekend says, will the fans give the players any credit today because they say they're not good enough when we lose? Of course, we've been giving them credit throughout the game. That's all we've been talking about. Individuals, how good they've been. You know, the players have this in them. They have ability. The problem is that they've not always been able to sort of get that out and get that across in game situations, and inconsistency has been Arsenal's biggest issue. Here are Slavia Prague in possession. It's back with Ondrej Kolar. He's had to pick the ball out of his net 3 times so far. And that's just tonight. Here is David Zima back to Kolar. Wearing Peter Cech style headgear is the Slavia goalkeeper. He's got the ball back again. He likes to get on the ball, Kolar. We've seen that over the 2 legs. But he's not always distributed it well enough, I would argue. But it's clearly part of the team's identity. It's the way they want to play. Whether that's right or wrong is a completely different matter. Here are Prague in possession, though. Inside their own half and under pressure from Lacazette there was David Zima, but he managed to get it back to his goalkeeper. He is the left back now, goes back to the goalkeeper once more. He looks to switch the play out to the right hand side, taken under control and brought forward. Here comes Slavia down the left, and Mikel Arteta's right there on the touchline, urging his players to get back, protect and defend. Shot from the edge of the box ends up in the arms of Bernd Leno. He probably could have let that go out, Bernd Leno, but I think there might have been a suspicion of a deflection there, which would have resulted in a Slavia corner, and that's why he didn't. But approaching the 70th minute mark here, and Arsenal in control. And for the time being, at least, not looking like relinquishing that control. Here's Oscar Dorley. It's funny because passes completed, Slavia Prague have got almost 150 passes more. Yet they find themselves 3 goals down because Arsenal have been efficient. And that's what's been missing for the majority of this season. We've just not been efficient enough. Marquis signing says, Harry, did you see Oba in hospital? Fight with Arteta apparently. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's there's been all sorts of rumours. We wondered if the flu was actually a thing. It appears it is. I've not actually seen Aubameyang's post, by the way, because he did it whilst I was on here, or whilst we were getting ready for the game at least. So I haven't actually seen it. You know what? I'm going to check it out now, just while Slavia Prague are making a substitution. just to have a look and understand what it is that he's posted. But yeah, look, he's in a hospital bed. Jesus. Aubameyang says, "Hey guys, thanks for all the messages and calls. Unfortunately, I contracted malaria whilst being on national team duty in Gabon a few weeks ago. I spent a few days in hospital this week, but I'm already feeling much better every day thanks to the great doctors that detected and treated the virus quickly. I wasn't really feeling myself the last couple of weeks, but we'll be back stronger than ever soon. We'll be watching my boys now. Huge game for us. Let's go and get it." So there you go. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang unavailable. Not because he's fallen out with the manager, but because unfortunately he contracted malaria on international duty. Roma have equalised in the game against Ajax, which means they now lead 3-2 on aggregate. Edin Dzeko with the goal, a familiar face to the Premier League fans amongst us. Here comes Slavia in possession. Who was it that said, someone said in the chat, how is it that Aubameyang went away without getting the jab? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You'd have thought that at that level of athlete, that would be something that is, you know, is almost compulsory. Does the jab completely protect you? I don't know. Unfortunately, I've not been to that part of the world. Arsenal have a throw in at left back. We're in no rush to take it, obviously. Oh, it's going to be a free kick, in fact, just inside the touchline, which Xhaka will take. Big hello to Noor, who's joining us from Malaysia. Says we've given the guys more confidence and self-belief we can take away. Arsenal have a throw in now. On the right, Callum Chambers is going to take it. It's almost in line with the edge of Slavia's penalty area. It's into the feet of Bukayo Saka. Just holds off the challenge from Oscar Dorley. Arsenal still have it with El Neni. Now it's Saka. Just tries to pick out the run of El Neni, who continued beyond him. But the Slavia Prague defender will just shepherd that out for a goal kick. Oh, it's so nice to feel comfortable. Tony says, didn't Kolo Toure catch malaria on international duty whilst at Arsenal? Off the top of my head, I can't remember that. But you might be right. I just can't, off the top of my head, I don't remember that. Maybe it's just me. Slavia in possession inside their own penalty area. Are we going to see some more changes? I won't complain if we don't, to be honest, because, listen, in an ideal world, right, you look at some of those players and you'll say, get them off the pitch, keep them fresh, keep them rested. But equally, if we don't make any more changes and we qualify, then how can anybody dig out Arteta's management of this game? He's been criticised quite a bit for, not managing in-game situations properly, but I think tonight he's picked the right team. They've gone out and done the business, and obviously that makes the job easier when you're in a winning position. Aqualinga David says, nice to watch you live, but we need a slight video of the game too. I can't provide you with the video of the game, my friend, because I would get done for copyright, and that's the whole issue. That's why you will find so many watch-alongs on YouTube where the host or the presenter or the person that you're watching is on camera and not the game, because copyright. BT Sport are the UK right holders for UEFA Europa League, and I can't give you BT Sports pictures because I'd be breaching copyright. That's just the way it is, unfortunately, my friend. Although you didn't hear this from me, but I'm sure you could find the stream online if you searched. I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to give you a site. There are loads of sites around that do that sort of thing. Orsic has pulled the goal back for Dinamo Zagreb. It's now 3-1 to Villarreal on aggregate, but of course they'd still need a couple, Dinamo Zagreb, to turn that one around. About 15 minutes remaining in that tie as well. Here's Rob Holding, apologies. Plays it back to Pablo Marie, finds Granit Xhaka, the makeshift left back, stroke centre back, stroke centre midfielder. Captain material. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what happened before. That's in the past. It's been and gone. Here's Lacazette inside the box. Can he make space for the shot? Shifts it onto his left foot. And Alexander Lacazette adds Arsenal's fourth to round off the night, to put a cherry on top of what's been a wonderful professional performance from the Gunners. Alexander Lacazette gets his second of the night. It's Arsenal's fourth. It's Slavia Prague 0, Arsenal 4. Come on. Took that really well, Lacazette, as well, because he received the ball in the penalty area. You wondered what he was going to do. Whether he was going to try and take the shot first time. He didn't. He controlled it. Shifted it onto the left foot. Made a bit of space and caught the Slavia Prague goalkeeper out at his near post. Just squeezes it inside. Adds Arsenal's fourth. It's a clinical finish from Alexander Lacazette, who certainly was far from clinical in the first leg. But he's made up for it tonight with a couple of goals. And it's a couple of goals that set Arsenal on their way to qualification for the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League. Who would have thought it, eh? Having been pegged back in the late stages of the first leg, who would have thought Arsenal would have gone out to Prague and battered them by 4-0? Arsenal going to make a double change now. We're just awaiting confirmation of who will make way. Alexander Lacazette is one of them. He will be replaced by Eddie Nketiah. Laka passing the armband onto Xhaka. Just getting some congratulations from his teammates. Martinelli is coming on. He's the first one. He's on for Saka. So we've got Nketiah on for Lacazette. Martinelli on for Saka. And Cedric is replacing Thomas Partey. Of course, that can happen now because Mohamed El Neni is on the pitch too. Does that mean Callum Chambers maybe moves into a midfield position? I'm not 100% sure. We'll have a look at that. But Arsenal have done a fantastic professional job this evening. Let's have a look. Let's try and make sense of that shift around in positions. No, Cedric's gone to left back and Xhaka's gone into midfield. So that's the change. Cedric has come on at left back and Xhaka has stepped forward from the defence into the midfield, into a deep midfield position alongside Mohamed El Neni and Thomas Partey. More people in the chat looking for the free stream. It's not here, my friend. It doesn't exist. As I say, I get done for copyright breach if I was to do something like that. Here's Pepe looking to pick out the run of Martinelli. Here are Slavia Prague in possession in a defensive position. Paul Schneider says, incredible, bloody amazing result. Would you Adam and Eve it? Masters Weekend says, Harry, is it time for the big question? Are we better without Oba? It's hard to say because Aubameyang is a top striker. He's had a difficult time this season, but there's no getting away from the fact that he's a top striker. The issue for me, though, is that we look a lot more balanced with Alexander Lacazette because of all the other things he brings to the game. I'm not talking about goals. I'm talking about his ability to drop deep, his work rate, his ability to lead the press, etc., etc. But I think playing Laka there not only gives us a bit more all-round centre-forward play, but it also brings out the best in the players around him, i.e. the number 10. In tonight's case, that was Emile Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Nicola Pepe. I think with two proper wingers and Lacazette, we look more balanced. When we play Aubameyang or shoehorn Aubameyang into a left-sided position, then for me, that just impacts the balance of the team. Having said that, I'd still back him to take a chance more than I would back Lacazette. So it's an interesting one because it's great that we have both. Connor says in the chat, isn't it great we have both? But Laka is miles ahead in the build-up. I agree with that. I think Laka gives us more all-round. It's not to say Aubameyang's not a good player, but I just think we're more balanced without him. And that's the harsh reality. And it's why I've been saying for a few weeks now, when people ask me if I would sell either of them in the summer, I think obviously Lacazette's contract situation makes it quite difficult to hold on to him unless you're going to commit sort of something to him and give him a contract. But more importantly, if the money comes in for Aubameyang, I think I'd consider it. I really do. I think it's 25 million, 30 million pounds, and you've got to bear in mind it's a COVID market. I know that probably sounds a little bit silly. I think I would take it. I really do. I think I would take it. 82 minutes on the clock. Arsenal have a corner. Cedric is going to take the corner from the left-hand side. Sam says he's at the age where it's best to sell, talking about Aubameyang. And the thing is with Aubameyang, right, if we do go on to sell him in the summer, it doesn't mean that tying him down to that contract or giving him that contract was a mistake, because what it means is that we were, we protected our asset. He wouldn't have a sell-on value, would he, had this been the last year of his contract. So it was the right decision. But from a footballing perspective, particularly since the team's evolved into this 4-2-3-1, which really happened at around about Christmas, then you have to say that he doesn't fit into it anymore. And that's no fault of his own. It's just that the natural evolution of this side has led to him becoming a bit of a bit part. And that's the reality. Brian Wilson says, Harry, what do you think is happening to Oba? Because he hasn't been so consistent. Ever since he signed a new contract, particularly in recent weeks, he's been very poor. Well, we know now that he contracted malaria during his last international trip. And he says that he hasn't been feeling right for a few weeks. So that could obviously be a contributing factor to the way he's been playing, maybe. It could also be that the club were aware that he wasn't feeling 100%, and that's why he'd been left out of the team, rather than it being a falling out between him and Mikel Arteta. So, it all makes sense now, and sometimes as fans, we have to be a little bit more patient and not jump to conclusions with regards to certain situations and stories. Eventually the truth comes out, and the truth's come out now that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang contracted malaria. If he did contract it a few weeks ago, he probably would have been feeling like shit for a little while. So it's all understandable. And it is what it is. Here's Chambers on the halfway line. Goes back to Rob Holding in the heart of the defence. He and Pablo Mari have been a real calming presence in the Arsenal back line. I said to you guys, I want to see Mari alongside him. We've seen it tonight, and we've seen a calm Arsenal. Arsenal have had 5 attempts on target in comparison to Slavia Prague's none. 8 shots apiece though at goal. Don't forget, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Help us on the road to 13,000. In addition to that, you can become a member if you wish to do so by clicking on the link in the description. And don't forget that after the conclusion of this game, it's at around about... Oh, Martinelli's in! Oh, it's just wide. Gabriel Martinelli did brilliantly to fashion a chance for himself. He's so desperate to prove himself, Gabriel Martinelli. Turned in a really good display at the weekend. He came in from the left-hand side here, left the defender for dead and put it just wide of the far post. Really unlucky from Martinelli. Really good work from the Brazilian. Just couldn't wrap his foot around it enough. I think he was just slightly off balance when he went to finish it. And he'll be disappointed that he's not added a fifth for the Gunners and got himself on the score sheet. But just going back to what I was saying, around about 20 past, we will bring you some reaction, a reaction podcast, which for those of you who prefer to listen on audio platforms, will be available there in the morning. But of course on YouTube it will be live. So you'll be able to join me for that if you wish to do so. If you're not sick of me by now. I know a lot of you are, and that's fine. But I know a lot of our listeners, viewers, don't watch the watch-alongs. So they'll probably join for that as well. So, looking forward to bringing you more content as always. And thank you for your support. Sam says Arteta deserves a lot of credit tonight. Brave move to go with that lineup, and it's worked wonders. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it at all. Here comes Slavia down the right-hand side, trying to get some joy out of Cedric Suarez, but Xhaka was back defending on hand to pick up the ball inside his own penalty area. Arsenal going to make another change. Nicola Pepe is going to make way. And look who it is, Folarin Balogun. It feels like we haven't seen him in years. But the reality is his future's been up in the air. There's been much speculation about what was going to happen with his contract situation. We hear that is resolved. We believe that an announcement is imminent. And he is now coming on to replace Nicola Pepe. Granted, he's not been given a lot of time to make an impact. But it's still an appearance for Folarin Balogun. Something we haven't seen in a while. Here are Slavia in possession. Ball comes out to the left-hand side for Oscar Dorley. Puts it into the box. Met by the head of Rob Holding. And then Callum Chambers works to clear it. 88 minutes on the clock. Be nice to get a clean sheet. Nicola Pepe's had a good night as well. He's been congratulated by many of his teammates as he makes his way to the substitutes bench. It's been fantastic, the Ivorian. He's been a lot better in recent months, hasn't he? And, he maybe got a bit of a kick up the backside from Mikel Arteta. I think people have realised that this manager will be ruthless with, if players are not displaying the right attitude, not displaying the right sort of values. And I think at times, as I said on a video that I did earlier in the week, I said that I think at times that's prevented Mikel picking the best team because he's been obsessed with players displaying the right attitude, the right values, etc., etc. But I also said that if you want the culture to change at this football club, that's something we're going to have to put up with because that doesn't change overnight. And only when players realise that it's not a given they'll be playing football matches will you see them perform at their best level. And Nicola Pepe is an example of that now. I still think that you'd get more out of him if he played more regularly because I think with some players they need that love. They need to be, to feel important. But yeah, fair play to him. He's turned in another really good display. Obviously got the goal as well in the first leg. So he's had a massive say in the way this tie's gone. He scored Arsenal's second... Was it the second? No, the first goal tonight. Got confused because their Emile Smith-Rowe one got ruled out. And then he's contributed again in the second leg. Here's Cedric Suarez looking to find Gabriel Martinelli on the left flank. Just a minute of time added on in this one. Not been a great deal of action in the second half. Plenty of substitutions, but I guess from a Slavia point of view, they just want this over now, don't they? They just want this done and dusted. They just want to be put out of their misery, because they were celebrating like crazy actually at the end of the first leg. And all of a sudden, they find themselves staring at an exit. And it's been a comfortable win for Arsenal. They've shown the golfing class between the two sides. Pablo Mari is down, receiving treatment after a clash there in a defensive action. Vallejo has scored for Manchester United. Well, Vallejo of Granada has scored for Manchester United. It's an own goal from the Granada man. Manchester United winning 2-0 on the night, meaning it's 4-0 on aggregate to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side, who also will be contesting the semi-finals. Full-time whistle goes. Arsenal are through to the last four of the UEFA Europa League. A brilliant professional performance from Mikel Arteta's side. It's exactly what we needed. It's exactly what we wanted to see. And you can't take it away from any of them. They were brilliant. Every single one of them, down to a man, was superb. They were superb this evening. And honestly, I can't fault any of them. Manager deserves credit for tonight because he took a brave decision. It paid off. He managed the game well. Arsenal performed. What more would you want? 4 goals on the night away from home. Lacazette, Saka, Pepe, all on the score sheet. A 4-0 win. Arsenal win 5-1 on aggregate. And we're in the final 4 of this European Cup. Big night from Arsenal. Slavia Prague just applauding the few supporters that were allowed to attend in the ground this evening. They'd have been disappointed. I imagine they've waited so long to get back in the ground to watch their team get absolutely pumped by an in-form, a confident and a cohesive Arsenal. That's what we want to see. I think I'm going to leave you guys to it. We'll be back for some post-match reaction in about half an hour's time, give or take a few minutes. I want to hear what Mikel has to say, and then we'll go live after that. But it's a really good performance. It's a really impressive result. And Arsenal's season is still alive. Arsenal are still in contention to win this Europa League. Come on, you Gunners. Brilliant performance. Brilliant display. I'm absolutely ecstatic. And a big thank you to everybody in the live chat who joined me, to everybody who donated a super chat, to everybody who has liked the video. If you haven't done it already, make sure you do it on your way out. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're within about 80 subscriptions away from hitting the 13k mark on YouTube. I know 13 for some is an unlucky number, but I'd love for us to get there as soon as possible, because once we do, across the multiple platforms, we will have around about 20k subscribers. So that's on the audio platforms and YouTube. So to hit that mark and milestone will be fantastic. And yeah, really looking forward to getting there sooner rather than later. So do your bit. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video on your way out. And I will catch you all a little bit later on. We've done it. We're through. What a night. Catch you all soon. Ciao.